Hello and welcome to Shed Shares. This is week 2 of the videos, and like I said, I was going to be talking about labels and imposter syndrome. So labels, first of all, from my experience, once you set your mind to something, once you set yourself on a career path, you typically naturally give yourself that label. Now, it's a very annoying thing that society does, because it's almost like it changes from being, the name of a person, of who you are. That's Sheridan. It's, oh, that's the cleaner. Oh, that's the shopkeeper. And you have that, it's almost like your names and your number, let's say, has become, again, a label of what you just do. That's it. That's who you are. So what you've chosen to do, you just become that thing. Now, that's great for a lot of people. Fantastic, and I'm not knocking it, because I've done, like I said, a lot of jobs in the past and those have been my labels. But what I don't like is how much it holds someone back, especially for me. When I came into the dance world, I was very flexible and this and that, and there'd be certain styles that people would put on me, almost like typecasting with actors, and subconsciously I would just go with that because that's what people saw of me, that's what people expected of me. And then I told myself, well, that's what I'll be then. I'll be that dancer where I'll just do that style, or I'll just be, that character in the play or something. But of course you never actually think about, well, why am I just sticking to that one thing? Why is it that someone says, well, you're this or you're that, and therefore you just run with it? Why can't you be more? Why can't you be both? Why can't you be two opposites, the contrasts? And I struggled with this the most because with the fact that I've been doing loads of different jobs, especially your normal, everyday, very hard, day-to-day 9-to-5 jobs, you end up stuck in those jobs because that's what you become, That's what you've been told that you are, so you stay there and it's comfortable. So you find this comfort zone, as we all know. It's easy. There's no surprises. There's no hard work, because you've done all the hard work. You're that name now. You're that job that you do. I don't like that. I struggle a lot with the commitment of a job, and I think, with that being said, I just can't stay in one place, because then it would take everything that I've actually got to give and condense it to that one label, that one name, when I actually want to just be everything. I want to be more. I've got more to give. I can do all loads of different stuff. I might not be able to do it as well as someone else, and that's perfectly fine. Some people might want to master their skill over years, and that, again, is completely fine. But personally, for me, not what I like to do. And that's probably why I've had so many different little jobs, because the employed life, for me, yes, it's secure and it's comforting. There's a routine to it. You know what's going to happen. But then there's no surprises. Like I said, there's nothing new that happens. There's no challenges. There are no new people. So where do you push yourself? Where do you step up? Where do you promote yourself? Where do you grow with something? Where do you adapt? Where do you then go, I'm going to move on from this and go on to something else, because I've been able to have those challenges to push me to then move on and evolve to something else. So labels has been a big thing that, especially in my 20s, has held me back. And I could have done these videos a while ago. However, I probably wouldn't have had the experience if I'd done them sort of early mid-20s as I have now. I had to go through a whole load of emotional, journeys and different life experiences to get to this point where I can feel like I can speak about different things and have some sort of insight to it. But please let me know anything that you've got to share in terms of, how you feel labels might have affected you, or stunted your growth, or stopped you from, pursuing this career, or changing the course of your life, or, changing that job, or buying that car, or whatever it may be that when someone's placed a label on you, how has that affected you, and how has it stopped you from progressing in life, in which way. And the imposter syndrome, of course, comes along with that, because when you do break out of this typecast that you've been set by society, whether it be friends or family, of how they see you, their expectations, of how they perceive you, and of course ultimately you take on that. That's how you start to see yourself. When you break out of this label and think, actually there's more that I could be doing, I have more to offer. When you do start to do something new, it feels difficult and challenging, and is this right for me? I'm not trained in this, I'm not supposed to be doing this, I'm such and such. Can I do this? And the whole self-doubt starts to kick in. Now, we'll talk about support networks a different day, because that is such a big thing that you need, especially when you start to change the course of your life. Whether it be mentally, physically, spiritually, anything, you always need a support network, whether that's a community of people that you pretty much don't know, that aren't really family, whether that's the closest friends or whether it is family, and they're there to give you a push. But imposter syndrome always kicks in, especially when you start something new. Now, again, for me, when I've started anything new, I thought to myself, what is it that I can bring to the table? What is it that I can bring to this new passion or this new career path that I want to pursue, that will make me feel like I belong here? What is it is there something new I can invent? Is there something new I can discover? Can I kind of mould myself to where people are in this career path? Or shall I just be completely different and see what happens there? When you start to build some sort of community around your decision of changing or developing, you start to worry that people might question your credibility, your validity of this job you want to do or this career path you want to take. Can you do it? Is she qualified enough? Does she know what she's talking about? I thought she was such and such. Why aren't you doing this? It suits you more. And then you really start to have the disbelief, and you feel that deflated, what am I doing feeling, which I've felt many, many times. And again, that stopped me from just doing something and seeing how it happens and seeing how it works out. Because, well, it's almost like driving. You are taught to drive a car. You are given literally the bare minimum and you pass the test. So you can drive this car, but you don't really learn how to drive until you start driving. It's the same with anything else. If you don't just start doing something, you aren't going to learn to do that thing. You can't just go into it always qualified. You have a degree in something, you're qualified, and you know what you're doing, but then when you get this first client, for whatever job that is, you won't know what you're doing until you actually start doing it. And it's when you start making mistakes and seeing different ways of resolving problems, asking for help, finding that support network, seeing what other people do, watching them, learning the ways of how they've made it, changing the ways how you're thinking. All these things come with actually doing, actioning those things that you want to do. You can't come into it knowing everything. No one does. And the people who make it, the people who understand that that's how you have to start before you can actually get anywhere, no matter how qualified you feel you may be or unqualified you feel you may be, everyone starts kind of at the same way. You've just got to do it, see it through, and learn as you go, and grow as you learn. So, in short, remember that labels don't make you that thing, that career, that job. You don't have to stick to that just because that's what someone's put on you or that's what your family see you as or expect from you. That doesn't have to be your expectation of you. You can do so much more or do more of what you're doing. Imposter syndrome will literally stop you in your tracks, and it could stop you from reaching whatever potential that you've got inside you. I have no idea where people want to go with their lives and whether this is for you or not. Remember that no matter what someone says and questions your actions or your credibility, it's only you who can prove to yourself that you're worthy of that title, that job, that career change. You can evolve if you want to. You don't have to prove it to anyone or convince anyone otherwise. You just do it, and your actions will speak a lot louder than your words. I will see you next week for another video. Don't know what I'm going to talk about, but it's a surprise topic, and I hope you enjoyed that. Any feedback or comments, please let me know. Bye.